of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We certainly want to remember, before Jackie leads a prayer, and I know that he will, but our school community that's been impacted by the storms, and certainly our friends in Pulaski and Laurel County, and just remember them, not just right now, because there'll be a lot of tough times ahead in the days to come. Mr. Ryder.
Our Heavenly Father, we're coming to you again. We're coming to you with, we're going into another meeting, Lord. We just thank you for allowing us another day to be able to do that, Lord. And as Mr. Ford talked about, us thinking about our hearts that's out to those that have went through hurt. They've got a lot of upsets in life, Lord. But we know you're in control of that, and your arms are wrapped around that. And Lord, we thank you for that. Just thank you for taking each and every one through the steps they went and all that. But a lot of negative, Lord, but we also got a lot of positive and a lot of praising for you, Lord. We went through a school year of just some things and some things are not so bad, but we've had a great year of safety and just things that we're testing and educating kids. But it takes, Lord, we know that it takes just each and every one of us in the community, each one that's involved here tonight, each one that's behind the scenes, and those that are involved in every student, and every community, and every staff's lifestyle. We thank you for those blessings that you give us, and we can't give you enough thanks. We have just coming to you with real thankful hearts. But thank you, Lord, for allowing us another day of health, another day to be able to come, do the process of the business, Lord. We thank you for giving us the wisdom and knowledge to do that. And just go with us through the night as we travel to and from the places, and those that's out on those that are still working through some days of the past and the days to come. Lord, we have some weather to follow. We just ask you to put your hand, bless us with that. But as we go through the night, just give each one just a touch and take them home safely. Thank you and praise you for all you do. Amen.
Amen.
Call the meeting to order at this time. Roll call.
Roll call. This action is taken by calling each board member's name with the board member answering present. Mr. Murray.
Present.
Mr. Selby.
Present.
Ms. Wilson.
Present.
Mrs. Higginbotham.
Present.
Mr. Kazsuk.
Present.
All board members present.
Next item is adoption of the agenda.
If there are no corrections or amendments, I recommend the agenda be approved as presented.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second. That's Bernie.
Mr. Murray got it? Okay. All right.
Vote.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Selby.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazsuk.
Yes.
Public comments.
Public comments. Anybody? Move on then. Next item is consent agenda.
Okay, we have the previous meeting minutes, payment of bills, school activity fund reports, field trips, and the treasurer's monthly report. Ms. Carnes is going to present.
Treasurer's report for the month of April 2025. Balance on hand at the beginning of the month was $22,554,814.09. Total receipts for the month were $2,263,806.07. Total receipts and beginning balance together $24,818,620.16. Disbursements for the month were $3,146,671.54. That brought the balance at the close of the month to $21,671,948.62. And the fund balances for the general fund, Fund 1, $10,948,147.14. Special projects, Fund 2, negative $247,359.78. District activity, Fund 21, negative $195,122.24. Capital outlay, Fund 310, $133,398 even. FSPK building fund, Fund 320, $682,781.30. Construction fund, Fund 360, $9,585,442.85. Debt service, Fund 400, $0. Food service, Fund 51, $761,618.95. Fiduciary fund, Fund 7,000, $3,042.40. Total cash and bank for all the funds, $21,671,948.
There went the raises. Thank you, Marla. Ms. Carnes. Just like that. There they went, Ms. Danby.
Wasn't getting that on him.
That's the first time you've ever done that, Ms. Carnes.
She's human, I didn't know that.
You hear Ms. Brenda? They said they're glad to know it. If there are no changes or amendments, I recommend approval of the consent agenda items.
Motion.
Mr. Selby, second.
Second.
Brendan? Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazuk.
Yes.
Just when we getting ready.
Next item on the agenda is salary schedule.
The Russell County Board of Education shall annually establish a schedule of salaries, compensation of extra services, hazardous duty supplements, and supervision as applicable. Payments for those services shall be included in employee's regular salary, and extended employment position shall be established in position job description, funded in the district budget, and specified in addendum to the employee's contract. So Russell County Board of Education Policy 03.22 and KRS 160.290, Section 1, and again, KRS 160.390, Section 2. So the attached salary schedules that we're proposing tonight for fiscal year 26 and school year 25 through 26 reflect an average of 6%. Really, the better word I should have had there was a minimum of 6% across the board increase as compared to fiscal year 25. And at this time, I also want to remind everybody for fiscal year 25, there was a minimum 4% increase. So that will be for the two biennium, or the biennium there, we're looking at 10% increase. There's also some things that we did, for instance, on the certified salary schedule, and in your board package, you had both last year's and this year's to compare to. But for instance, at fiscal year 25, years of experience, Ms. Carnes, we changed that 3, 4, 5 years ago. It capped at 25. Remember that? And then a few years ago, we changed it to 27 plus. This year, we are proposing that there's a new line. So the bottom line used to be 27 plus years of experience. Now that will be 30 plus, and the line prior to that will be 27 through 29. So a 30 plus salaried employee at rank 1 is now will propose to be $74,944, to where this current fiscal year it would have been $65,063. So again, the longer you're with this kind of reward for salary. And there's also some areas that were in there as we got to looking at, and we adjust little things like this throughout the time. But for instance, you might have been with this from 20 years to 25 years, and it was only $800 difference. And this proposed salary schedule reflects some changes between there. Here's a good example. On rank 2 for fiscal year 25, 20 through 23 years of experience was $57,177. If you're with us from 24 to 26, that only went up to $57,947. So now 24 through 26 will be $62,723 on a rank 2, and 27 through 29 then goes up to $65,223. So also on the classified salary schedule, in the past, or the current fiscal year, it capped out at 25 years of service, and much similar to we did the other one, it now has another line item at the side in addition to the raise, that it goes up to 27 years of, and plus years of service with us. Those are completed years of service too. We deal with that every single year. Ms. Carnes and payroll more than me.
It's like a birthday or an anniversary.
Yeah, it's
1 years old
until you're done the year. Yeah. So you have to live that year before you get that. So, for instance, a head cook that's been with us for 27 plus years, for coming up to the next year, would now make $20.99 an hour. And just an example, in the past, it was $19.22 an hour. So, you know, I'm proud to present this. Appreciate Ms. Carnes' work on this. We feel very good with our budget. Again, we talked about this last year. Appreciate the legislators and legislature and the governor signing that. seek increase and other adjustments, a little bit of increase in transportation and some things that afforded our district this, and just good steward of the taxpayer dollars that we're able to do this. So one thing that we will probably bring to you before next year actually starts is to look a little bit more at the substitute teacher salaries and those areas. For instance, if I'm a third grade teacher and I'm on a leave and Mr. Kazsuk is covering for me and he's doing that for 2 months, well, he's doing the lessons, he's doing every bit of that. To where if I just take a day off and Brenda Hickabotham subbing for me, well, I have my lesson plans ready for her, you know, and ready to go. Well, I knew I'd need to for you, and Mr. Kazsuk would have me covered. See why I did that? But if you're having to do it for a leave, you're running the class time. And so we felt like we might be able to retain maybe some retired teachers to come back and be willing to do some of that if we gave an additional incentive, you know, of additional $50, $75, whatever we decide upon that. But we can address that at a later school board meeting. But that is something that I want to bring back to you all.
I think we need to do that.
Well, we need the best of the best filling in for the teacher
Right.
when they're gone. So if we could retain some more folks to do that. But I am extremely proud of this. Again, appreciate the district and our financial spot to be able to do this. Ms. Carnes, do you have anything you want to add with it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it uses up all of what we're gaining in the increase on seat plus a few $100,000 on top of that. So, I mean, I'd love to guarantee you another raise next year, but it's going to be, in my opinion, dependent in a big way on two things. What the legislature does with our seat base next year.
I agree.
If we see an increase and we have an increase, then we might have some wiggle room. And the other thing is what happens with our federal dollars, because there's still a lot of uneasiness and up in the air on that. So those two things are going to be the big deciding factors on what we can do going forward next year at least.
I agree.
And
We talked a lot about this last year. We gave a raise, or you all voted to give the raise that was proposed, and appreciate that, but it was within the realm of funding that we were getting at that time. And as Ms. Carnes said, this is 2% higher, but it does go into a little bit of the contingency, but we've got a really good, healthy contingency fund as well.
we also have some growth in our other revenues.
Yes.
It's not just SEEK that we rely on. We've seen a little growth in like motor vehicle tax, property tax, you know, all those. We have a little wiggle room there to be able to cover it. I feel fine about this, but again, doing anything beyond this or guaranteeing and saying right now we can do a raise next year is going to be very dependent on what happens with those funding
Yep,
sources.
I totally agree with that.
So the way I read this, it's 6% across the board.
Yeah, well, there's some of those areas, examples that I gave, like, that was like the rank 2, Mr. Selby, that was $800 last year, and it's like $1,500 now, where the discrepancy.
But the minimum is six.
Yes, sir.
six-
Yes.
The minimum
Yes, sir.
for everyone in the system.
At least
It's
6.
at least
at least
6%. Yes, sir.
6%.
Yes, yes. And when I said that, Mr. Selby, earlier, when I said the average, I should have had that on the staff note. It should read minimum. That would have been, that would have been.
Everybody from one cleaning the commodes to
Yes,
the
sir.
ones everywhere else is going to get at least a
Yes.
6%
Minimum.
minimum
Yes, sir.
increase.
I'm starting
Yes.
tomorrow clean commode.
So over 2 years, it's been a minimum of 10% from fiscal year '25 and fiscal year '26. Yeah. And I mean, for our district, I think that's pretty significant. Yeah, yeah. So I recommend adoption of the attached attached salary and extra service salary schedules for fiscal year '26 as presented.
Motion.
I'll make it.
You make it.
Mr. Murray?
Motion.
Second.
Second, Mr. Selby. Vote.
Okay, Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
And I should have said this before we voted, but I did send that out to all the employees as the proposed and what the board would be looking at for Friday night, and received some really nice comments back from folks, so I know that everyone appreciates that.
Next item on the agenda is the tentative budget, fiscal year '26 tentative budget, excuse me.
So we'll do this one as our tentative. The draft was in January, and then our working budget will be in September, and pretty much everything will be finalized at that point. You all know this as well as I do. KRS 160.470 requires us to adopt a tentative budget, and this has been attached for your review. Expenditures and revenue at $30,520,743. And again, the final budget will be due for the year in September 30th. I don't know, Ms. Carnes said she'd just make a few comments regarding that.
Well, generally, this is the budget where all your work goes into. You don't make a lot of changes between now and that working budget in the fall. This is the one where you got to really crunch the numbers so we can figure out what we can do with things like raises. But we are getting a pretty good increase on our seat this year, somewhere around a little over $600,000, so that helped us out. We're also getting a little break on our classified retirement contributions. That rate at one point was up almost to 27%, and it's going down this next coming fiscal year to 18.62%, down from 19.71%. So it's been coming down these last
And just
few
not
years.
too many years ago, it was prediction of
It
just,
was predicted, they thought it was
Yeah.
going up to the point they were capping how much it could go up per year for this over the course of 10 years.
Yeah.
And I fully expected it to hit that cap for that full time period. So I've been very shocked that it has started coming back down. But back down to 18.62% for the fiscal year 26. That's down to what it was about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's really starting to level off for us. So
the
that's
percentage is lower, back to down to that level. Of
Yeah.
course, the pay scale is higher.
Yeah, so we're paying more in
Yeah.
salary, and it kind of helps balance it out, but that's a great help to us, that it's not continuing to grow another 1% or 2% every year. So that's a nice little bonus, or help to us with helping with the cost of raises and all that stuff. But otherwise, the budget kind of holds steady everything else. We still have our money in there to do, some bus purchasing when it's time to do that up in the fall. We leave that every year and make sure we do as much as we can to keep our fleet current. And it was, I didn't have to cut anything in the contingency line item in order for us to do our raises. I think just the growth in our revenue is covering all of that for us. That being said, we don't have a lot of categories where we've got extra to do any big things throughout the year, because we are really devoting all of our increase of everything into these raises, which I think is where we get our best bang for our buck, putting it in our
Yep.
people, because that's our big ticket item anyway, is our staff.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carnes. So I recommend approval of the fiscal year 26 tentative budget in the amount of $30,520,743 for expenditures and revenue.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes. Next item is contracts and memorandums of agreement.
So we have agreements with Lake Cumberland District Health Department, Jason Gibson, and that's for we did it back in October for the current year. This one will be for the fiscal year 25-26 through the Wilderness Education Program, same group that has the agreement that funds Mr. Mick Sloan's program. And they pay that person, and we kind of serve as the fiscal agent, and then we get to use that consultant for 10 days as part of that agreement. The Kentucky Education Development Corporation 25-26 cooperative membership. I know you all just recently saw that a few months ago, but that was for this current school year. This will be one for the next year. And again, I'm very pleased. I mentioned a few months ago that we would be getting to continue the pantry, and then this is the official agreement for that, and it's for 2 years that we get to continue the Feeding America partnership for the Kentucky's Heartland for the pantry. So we're very appreciative of that, and they're very complimentary of our family resource and youth service centers and how they run that program, and just a big asset. And again, just a reminder to the public, anybody that has a child in Russell County Schools can take advantage of that. No income verification, nothing like that's required. And it can be for just, if somebody has a really high electric bill, or maybe they've had a car tear up and they're just running short that month, then we can help them out with some groceries. So that's what it's there for. So I recommend approval of the contracts and/or memorandums of agreement that's been approved by the board attorney.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Selby. Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes. The next item is Russell County Schools, fiscal year 2025, 2026 certified evaluation.
Due to the changes, and this was done in House Bill 48 of this last legislative session, districts must modify their certified evaluation plans. We always call them the CEP plan, when you see that acronym, to ensure all teachers, other professionals, principals, assistant principals, and certified administrators that have attained continuing service status under KRS 161.740 or continuing status under KRS 156.800, Section 7, are evaluated on a 5-year summative cycle. That would be the minimum. And then the staff note, Mrs. McFall has noted on your plans where you see those highlighted revisions on pages 4, 20, 22, 23, and 25 with that. And this is, again, is for the upcoming school year. Ms. McFall, do you have anything you want to add or note about that?
We have a good solid SIP,
Yeah.
so we usually don't change anything unless there is a requirement, and we've not had one for several years. So now we've got one, so we have updated it and revised it accordingly.
All right, thank you. So I recommend approval of Russell County Schools Certified Evaluation Plan along with the accompanying assurances.
Motion.
I'll make it motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Ms. Selby,
Yes.
Mr. Selby, I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, it sounded like it's.
Miss
I've been called a lot worse.
My apologies.
Me too.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
I'm all mixed up now. Mrs. Hickenbottom,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Mr. Selby.
Sounded like he said that. I thought he got his tongue tied. I didn't know what he said.
When don't I?
Next item on the agenda is Comprehensive District Improvement Plan, Phase 4, Non-Traditional Instruction and Professional Development, English Learner.
So the process and timeline for the comprehensive school and district improvement planning are outlined in that regulation 703 KER 5:225. This is not the big CDIP, what we call the comprehensive district improvement plan that's done in early winter, late fall, there at that December timeline usually. But this includes those things that Mr. Kazuk just noted, our NTI plan, the professional development plan, and our English learner plan. Ms. McFall, I'll look to you again on that. Anything to add or note?
Just something we have to do each year for NTI. We just have to submit a plan so that if that day comes open, everybody in the district knows what's going on. So our plan has not changed for non-traditional instruction. Our Google Classroom and Chromebooks, we're keeping that plan in place. But we have to submit this each year for the state to make us eligible for those 10 days that we receive. The PD plan is the same thing, just for professional learning. We're trying to look at our needs assessment, which is something big that we talk about in December, when we get all of our data back and all those multiple sources of data that we look at to see what are the biggest needs in our district, and then we try to find professional learning to offer our teachers and our administrators throughout the school district so that we can enhance those teaching practices and then thus make student outcomes better. So it's just a plan in place that we have to submit. And the last one, the English Learner Plan, is something that they have to do to just kind of show what services we are providing for our EL students. And those families get a copy of this as well.
Thank you, Ms. McFall. So I recommend approval of the Comprehensive District Improvement Plan Phase 4 for NTI, Professional Development, and English Learner Plans.
Motion.
Motion.
Mr. Murray.
Oh, you beat me.
Second.
I'll second it.
It's Joy, second. Ms. Wilson. Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mrs. Hickenbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazuk.
Yes. Next item is school-wide fundraiser.
The following group has received approval from the superintendent for the listed fundraiser. This is Russell County High School Marching Band. Those of you all at the band banquet this year, they talked about this and about the raffle. So it's going on now through the fair, and its raffle tickets are $5 each for a chance to win a half of a beef from the Woodcock Farms. You all know Mr. Jason Woodcock, great worker there with the band boosters. So it's a half a beef from his farm or $1,000. And it is noted that the Russell County High School Band has received their exemption from the charitable gaming to be able to do that raffle. So I think that will be, I've not got current numbers, but I think that would have to be a good raffle for them to get a
I think it
half
would
of a
be.
beef or $1,000, yeah. And one ticket each, there's no 3 for $5 or, 3 for
That's
10 or
really
anything
good.
like that,
That's better
just
that
straight
way.
up $5 each. So I encourage everybody to get a ticket from the band and get a side of beef for one, and pending their approval there, if you all approve
I
that.
tell you,
So-
they really work.
Oh, yes,
Are
yeah.
they gonna have a booth too? I figured they'd have. a
Oh,
booth.
they'll have their selling, yeah, sure.
The price of beef, it's $1,000, we'll even touch a half a beef.
I know, right? You'd be
Oh,
silly to
really?
take $1,000,
Yeah,
wouldn't
boy.
you?
I probably would.
Yeah. You'd take the $1,000?
I probably would.
Well,
Because we would never use that.
well, you could share it with your board members.
I don't want to. Don't want to. I don't like to share.
Well, I recommend approval of the school-wide fundraiser. And just a clarification here, when something is done like that, with the paperwork behind the scenes that has to go and be completed. So it's not, you all do your approval, but then there's also paperwork that goes on. I just want that clarification, that goes on behind the scenes that documents what's being done and where the proceeds are being used and things like that. So anyway.
Make a motion, Joey.
Always.
Second,
Second,
Brendan. Vote.
paperwork's always hard.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
You told me about this fence. You told me about this tree.
Next item on the
That was
agenda
not
is fence repair.
It wasn't a little tree either. It was
I know, but
big
you want
tree.
to get fixed.
So, as you all know, Mr. David Turner's property borders the school district's property here on the south side, and especially over here at the new athletic complex. And we've been doing work over there now for a number of years. Last year, and you all probably saw it at some of the games, we had that large tree that fell over to the property. It also took out some of the corn and stuff too. And then, to make matters kind of worse, during the removal of the tree, we had to get a track hoe. We got a track hoe to kind of lift the tree up and get it back over to move it. But anyway, at the end of the day, it just messed up a lot of Mr. Turner's fence that bordered our land through there. So he's got all that fixed, and he's asked for the district to pay for half of the fence along through there. So the total cost was $4,699.50, and that ticket is attached for your review. The half would be $2,349.75, and I did. Mr. Hoover couldn't be here tonight, but I have worked with him on this regarding this. So Mr. Turner's a good neighbor, and his property like I said, goes along almost the whole south side there from still in the construction area now that we're doing with the paving and stuff like that. So I recommend approval of the $2,349.75 to David Turner for fence repair.
Motion.
Second.
No.
Vote.
Who
Yes.
got it?
Brendan said. Who did?
Got it, okay. Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Now, high school, Russell.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
It's a mystery of why anybody wants to wrestle.
Next item on the agenda is Russell County High School wrestling.
So you all know that the board approved the youth wrestling. It was 4th through 8th grade this year. They had a wonderful start, a good group with that. Coach Boring's done an excellent job. They brought this, Coach Boring was at the site-based council meeting. He was going to try to be here, no, he's not here, but he was going to try to be here tonight as well. The site-based council did approve the adding this as an additional extracurricular sport for the high school, and then so the next part of that would be you all would have to approve that to approve funding for the coach. The head wrestling coach would be on the extra service salary schedule at a level 4, and the assistant wrestling coach at level 5. And then I just attached the note from Mrs. Tarter, just noting that the site-based council had approved that to start the wrestling program. Then it would be for the varsity 7 through 12. And she noted that programs start immediately, meaning that we would start with this building the program and then kick it off for the 25-26 school year.
And
So,
it's for girls and boys both,
it is,
right?
yes, it is. Like I said, Coach Boring's done just an excellent job. He's got a lot of students that, some will be in high school, that were at the middle school, and they want that pathway ready to go, and then others were already at high school when this one started, and now they'll get to join as well, pending your all's approval. So I recommend approval of the start of the high school varsity wrestling program, and the extra service salary schedule be amended to include the head wrestling coach and the assistant wrestling coach at those levels that I noted.
I'll make that motion. I say if you want to wrestle, go at it.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Okay? Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
All right,
Going
thank
to
you.
Puerto
That's
Rico.
exciting. Pardon?
They're going to Puerto Rico.
We got the gift and talented.
They did another year too. No, they went to Costa Rica or somewhere, didn't they?
Next
Was
item
it
on the
two
agenda
times they
is
went there?
out-of-state and/or overnight trips.
June 7th through the 13th is the Russell County Gifted and Talented to Puerto Rico. That's through that travel group, that same group that they've used before. We've had students, come back and present to the board meeting. Very organized. Mrs. Hannah and Mrs. Stevens do an excellent job with that. June 10th to the 14th, the Russell County High School boys varsity basketball to Gulf Shores, Alabama for a camp. And Lake Cumberland Regional College Workforce Center, USA Georgia World Congress Center for June 23rd to the 27th, and July 31st to August 3rd. I don't think football couldn't take a camp all month, could it? That would be hard. That would be a long camp. July 31st through August 3rd is Russell County High School football, University of Virginia, Wise, Virginia for their football camp. I recommend approval of the out-of-state or overnight trips as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Selby. Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Joel just keeps moving on now. I'm so proud of him.
Next item on the agenda is professional leave of absence.
So Mr. Joel Wolford, previous library media specialist at Russell Springs Elementary School, has been elected as the Kentucky Education Association president. He was vice president for a number of years, but now congratulations to Mr. Wolford. That's just outstanding that we had a local educator elected to that state office. His current term began June 15, 2025, and will continue through the June 1st of 2028. He's requested another professional leave of absence for the 25-26 school year, and of course, it's unpaid. We have it's no salary or anything when he does this leave. So I recommend that the Russell County Board of Education grant Joel Wolford a professional leave of absence without pay for the 25-26 school year. And again, congratulations to Mr. Wolford. That's a great honor to him, certainly, but it's pretty cool that he's right here from Russell County Schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mrs. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Now we're gonna buy stuff.
Next item on the agenda is review, accept, or reject bids in surplus property.
Y'all did anything?
So the Russell County Board of Education previously declared surplus and authorized sealed bids for the football scoreboard. 2 signs, we have one for the ATC and one from Union Chapel Elementary School.
$300.
Miscellaneous bleacher and bleacher parts, 2 mowers, the riding mower, the Skag, and the Reel Master. Bunch of countertops, junk metal that included the dumpsters and metal frames and et cetera, a Color Point serving line from food service, and 1 cashier's cart. The sealed bids were received and tabulated by central office staff on Wednesday, May 14th, and the high bid for each item category is listed below. For the football scoreboard, it's $206. 2 signs, the ATC, we received no bids. Union Chapel Elementary School, $300 was the high bid. Miscellaneous bleachers and bleacher parts was $2,500. The riding mower, the Skag turf mower, runs and mows, that's $1,250 for the high bid. And Mr. Murray got that Reel Master, yep, at a high bid of $250. Countertops were no bids received. Junk metal that included the old dumpsters, the metal frames, and all those types of things. It was $500 was all that was received on that. Carter Point serving line was $151, and one cashier's cart was $52. So my recommendation would be, in working with Mr. Thomas with maintenance, that we accept all of the bids except the junk metal, okay? We had the old dumpsters and the metal frames and all that. The bid that was received that we could even consider was $500. We did receive a higher bid than that, but it came in after the deadline had passed. So again, my recommendation would be to receive approval of the highest bid received for all the surplus items except the junk metal, and dispose of the countertops. We'll just get rid of them. They're just junk anyway, and reject all the bids for the junk metal. So we,
You
again,
mean
take.
like and take the higher bid that we got late?
No, we can't accept that at all. We
Okay.
just reject that. So we take all the high bids that we received, that's been noted, except the junk metal, we reject that, and we'll just dispose with your all's approval of the countertops. I didn't expect to get bids with that anyway.
So are you gonna rebid for the junk metal?
Yeah, I want to, there's an opportunity for us to kind of trade in some dumpsters to a entity that refurbishes them. So I'm going to check into that a little bit more. I'm going to bring that back to you all.
Okay.
Maybe the dumpster's separate, and then the junk metal, that I will probably ask for you all, minus the dumpsters, to be rebid on them.
Okay.
But the place out of Taylor County, they kind of bring some of them old dumpsters in and kind of trade them in, and that they will refurbish some stuff, but I want to work through some of that. So at a future board meeting, we could address the dumpsters and the junk metal. But right now, we'll just reject the bids for the junk metal, or my recommendation. Again, all the high bids except for the junk metal, dispose of the countertops, and reject all the bids for the junk metal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What about
You
the
have to
sign,
say
what about
about
the
the
ATC
ATC.
sign?
Do what?
Yeah, we didn't get anything on that. If we don't, it's good metal that can go with the metal when I bring it back to you. So we'll take the high bids on the ones that we
Who brought
received
the
bids on.
shuffle stool? I forgot all about the other item bid on it.
Landon Helm.
What's the matter with him?
His bid,
I'm
yeah.
gonna call him and say, I'll give you $3 and a penny for it. 300 a penny.
So I'll read that one more time. My recommendation, approval of the highest bids received for the surplus items, except for the junk metal, dispose of the countertops, and reject all bids for the junk metal.
Okay. When
I'll
y'all
make a
do
motion
that-
to that effect.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Burns, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Silver?
I don't know why you wouldn't want to repeat that,
I
Mr.
know,
Murray.
that's what I was thinking.
Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mrs. Hickenbottom,
Yes.
and Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
And this is good because we need this stuff, like the old bleachers and stuff, out of the way as we're working on the parking lot out there behind for the construction stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to note that, yeah. I'll just
Next
note
item
that.
on the agenda is Lakeland Marching Band diesel truck.
Okay, and again, at another future board meeting, we'll take action on this. We didn't get it read, but I'll just announce right now, so pleased and so thankful. Our current truck that pulls the trailer for the marching band is probably 20-something years old. And long story short, Mr. Terry Stevens from Stevens Pipe and Steel is going to donate a 2019 with to the district for the marching band to use, and all he's going to ask is that we just do a title swap. We'll just give him the old one, and we'll take that 2019. So
Put it on the
we'll officially address it at a future board meeting. I just wanted to give Mr. Stevens a shout out and let him know how much
It's new
we
tires.
appreciate that. Yeah, and it's got new tires on it. Just that's it just kind of came about. The other one it's getting a lot of age on it, and our mechanics had noted that it was going to need some work, and one of the boosters had made a phone call to Mr. Stevens, and the next thing we know, he was going to donate a 2019 truck. So we're really, really pleased. I've not seen it in person yet, but Mr. Irvin has, and they said in a few years the boosters might look at putting a wrap on it. But right now, it's one of his blue trucks, and Mr. Irvin said, "I don't care if it stays that blue," because we just really appreciate
It's
Mr.
free.
Stevens doing that. It's just outstanding. So, like I said, we can take some action on that at a later date, yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Laker Marching Band practice area.
So speaking of a later meeting date, sooner rather than later, I would like to have a meeting with you all, with the architect, to really talk about this scope of work and to kick this off pending your all's approval for the Laker Marching Band practice area. So as you all know, we talked about before about getting some cost estimates to really do that area. I know, like Mr. Murray talked about, being so hot when it was out on the blacktop, and this would include the green covering, for instance. So Sherman Carter Barnhart, our architect, has put together these cost estimates. I know they didn't just sit around the table and say, well, another job kind of looked like this cost, and the fencing. They did a lot of work to really get some really firm numbers of people that are in the field and do this type of work. So general conditions, and that's just exactly what it is, just getting the site ready and doing some stuff. They estimate at $22,337. Site work, and then they have the additional price there attached, $70,380. The green top coat with the striping to where ideally we would put that the black coating, then we would surface coat it with the green, and then it would be marked like a football marching field on these courts. $45,000, some structural with the concrete foundation, $20,000, a contingency of 10%. So the total construction cost of $171,255.70. Soft cost, that deals with architects, the engineers, and all those things that would be required, $30,000. So the total project cost is $202,081.73 minus the band tower. So we're looking at the band tower, as I included in that staff note, of just some estimates that I've got from different companies. There's a company that I've talked to out of Springfield here in Kentucky. He's done some preliminary work for me, or the design, just to see what the cost would be. I met on site with him. He's done one for Campbellsville and Taylor County. There's also a national group that's what they do, or band towers. But you're looking at $75,000 to $100,000 for a band observational tower. And that's that. Right now, unfortunately, our band directors climb on top of I said this last time, a panel truck with a fence around it. And to have a really good show, you've got to have the height to be able to see it and to be able to hear it. And this band tower, that's what it does. So you're looking at around, anywhere from $275,000 to $300,000 on this project. For us to do it as expeditiously as possible, we would have to pull that out, as I noted, out of general fund, because if we were to sell a bond for it, this project is not on our district facility plan. So for it to be put on our district facility plan, you all would have to convene the local planning committee. We'd have to have a finding, amend that, send it to the state, draw up all the agreements, and then sell the bond. Again, very lengthy project, or a timeline to do that project. If we use general fund, we do not have to, it does not have to be on the district facility plan because we're using general fund dollars. We still have to do the BG1 and all those types of things, but it would be a much quicker project. But it would be out of the general fund. So Ms. Carnes and I have already talked about it. We do have some what's called excess capital outlay that could be moved over as well, and do this out of what we would refer to as general fund dollars without having to sell a bond. But what we need to do is just what we've done before is, just everybody sit down with the architects, look through it all, look through all the pricing. I would have the BG1 at that one, Mr. Kazsuk, to present to you all, and then we just talk about the band practice area.
Well, that's the only thing we've not worked on.
We've not worked on an area specific. And again, I can't stress this enough. This doesn't mean that they would never be on the field, obviously. They would be on the field. But this gives them their own space right there behind their, where the band is anyway.
In the general fund, there is enough?
There is, and with the capital outlay that we would have had to escrow.
Excess capital outlay dollars to actually cover probably all of it.
Without taking that out. Mm-hmm. So we didn't want to take it, and I've had blunt conversations with Mr. Urban about that, and he totally understands. We didn't want to take a big hit, giving raises and everything that. and I was pleased with it. I know that sounds like a whole lot, but just with what they're going to need to do back there and have that area, it's not a bad price. I was really expecting more for that. So that general conditions includes the fence that we need, moving a light pole. We're going to make use of some of the light poles that are already out there. They can have a spigot out there for water, put down the other pavement, and just really get that area cleaned up. So, know how hard the van works. We're just really excited about this project. So again, I'm not asking for approval or anything tonight, but we will work with you, Mr. Kazsuk, to set a special call board meeting, get the architect down here, and just have one of them roundtable meetings where we sit down and talk about this and finalize some stuff. So I have went over it with Mr. Irvin, and he's, the band is just really, really appreciative of anything that the board could do. Any questions on that?
I've often wondered how somebody didn't fall off that box truck.
They never have. We've been blessed.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Seed Academy update.
So as you all know, we had the groundbreaking for the Seed Academy. Just really excited about that. Again, I want to thank the Chair Bowles and the entire Russell County Industrial Development Authority. Representative Branscombe, he worked on getting that line item in the budget. Representative Comer's office at the federal level helped with some encouraging some of the USDA grants. Just a lot of people, and certainly the IDA as a whole, of working on that project. We have met since the groundbreaking. We have met with again with Somerset Community College, and our goal at this point is to partner with Somerset Community College. Ms. Voles was in that meeting as well. We had several representatives from Somerset Community College, and Mr. Gosser represented the high school. Mrs. Davidson was there. Ms. Rickson was there, and we've got a really solid plan. I think Ms. Voles she's shaking her head, to where our students can work with us, and while they're in high school, take those classes through Somerset and with us, to where they're working on their associates. And then, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, nothing is official, because there's a lot of things in the background, but our intent is handed off to UK. This will be like a satellite campus for UK, to where our students regionally, we want folks from all around to come to get a bachelor's degree in agribusiness right here from University of Kentucky, working through Somerset, working through our ag department. So we're really excited about that. And again, that's not final set in stone, but Somerset, through some of their agreements, and that will be our end goal. So we'll be able to offer that agribusiness degree with that through Somerset Community College, and then pass it on to UK for a bachelor's degree. And Ms. Rickson even noted, tell me if I'm not saying this right, that a lot of students, and Mr. Gosser did too, a lot of kids tell them they want to go get an ag degree, but they don't want to leave their farm to do it and be gone 4 years. And they really want that agribusiness. They said that's really one of the driving degrees now. And UK is where a lot of our students want to go to anyway. And so this will afford our students and students from around the region to stay here in Russell County and still get a bachelor's degree in agribusiness. So it's a pretty big deal, and we're really, really excited about it. Ms. Voles, can you think of that kind of good summary of our meeting? Okay. All right. So I just wanted to share with just a lot of behind-the-scenes work going on with the Seed Academy, and so we want to be ready for that. It should be done in the winter of 2026, so we would look to start there a year from now from school for the 26-27 school year, because we'll be in 25-26 here in just a few months, and then get that building done. And so I know you said, well, that's a year off. Well, that's a year off, that's right. So we need a lot of things in place to where we're ready for that with that. So we're really, really excited about that.
Next item on the agenda is personnel reports.
Okay, Ann Walters hired Jamestown Elementary School primary P5. Jenna McFarland hired Jamestown Elementary School exceptional education teacher. Felicia Garrison, Jamestown Elementary School primary teacher, end of year, June 30, 2025, non-renewal. Aaron Bernard, Jamestown Elementary School custodian, end of year, 6/30, 2025, non-renewal, but he's resigning effective 5/30, 2025. Mr. Vince Stevens at Salem, retiring effective June 30, 2025. Gina Lee Espada, she was hired for the district EL assistant position, but since that time, was going to take that position for the 25-26 school year, but since that time, she's declined that position. Sarah Bradshaw, Russell County Middle School instructional coach. Carly Berry, Russell County High School, resigning as the marketing educator. Casey Hoskins, Russell County High School, resigning as the assistant dance coach. Marisa Popwell, the district assessment specialist, retiring effective June 1, 2025. Sandra Dick, district, retiring as the director of special education. She also took care of preschool and 504, effective June 1, 2025. Hannah Burton, hired as district substitute teacher. Marcia Coppage, hired district classified substitute. Allie Stevens, district hired substitute teaching position. Christy Poland, Russell County High School, hired as cook cashier. Anita Brown, and again, just condolences to her family, our school family that worked with her. She was one of our bus drivers, and just included as part of the personnel report. You all know that she, of course, passed away. Miss Bridget Smith has been hired as the new director of special education, preschool, and 504, effective June 1. Kelly Kelsey resigned, Russell County High School Science Department teacher at the end of this current school year. Danielle Tate resigned as alternative school teacher at the end of the school year. Amanda Bourgeois, Russell County High School cook cashier, June 30, 2025, non-renewal for the 25-26 school year. Caitlin Coffey hired as the head volleyball coach. And why I've got Miss Coffey's name pulled up there, I want to make certain I say this right, but there's going to be a community welcoming to her.
Is she a veterinarian?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I had the right one.
On the 22nd in the Russell County High School gym, beginning at 5:30, as the head volleyball coach, just to welcome Miss Coffey.
That's Thursday.
And John Shuey, Russell County High School, resigned as assistant boys basketball coach. And Roxanne Lawless, she's retiring effective July 1, 2025, and she was a special ed teacher at Russell County High School.
Okay, she's in that shape.
Next item on the agenda is public comments.
I would, Mr. Kazsuk, that this will be probably our, unless we have a special board meeting, our last board meeting before the end of the school year, the end of the school year with kids anyway. But I do want to thank everybody for, Mr. Greider mentioned it during opening prayer, but we have had a good school year. We never say this lightly or take it for granted. The community, the support this school district receives from the community is second to none across this Commonwealth, or I would put it up to any of our businesses, our parents and guardians, our churches, just everywhere you turn, there's always an entity helping our school district. And so again, it hasn't gotten a fast year, but I just appreciate that. Appreciate our faculty and staff administration for what they do on behalf of our students every single day. I've said it so many times that nobody truly knows what our faculty and staff are doing as they drive in front of the roads. And just some, past our schools, there's some things that some of our folks were doing today, and I won't speak about it, but on behalf of some kids that, again, the general public just do not know what happens on behalf of students. So, again, thank you to everybody that has made this school year a huge success. And again, our thoughts and prayers are out with all of our community members and friends that are impacted by the recent severe weather events here in Russell County, and the Roy family, and the Mr. Crawford Gosser, and many others have damage and storm damage and things like that. And certainly our friends in Laurel County and Pulaski County and beyond, just continue to remember them in your thoughts and prayers.
Our wrestling coach is here if you wanted to.
I'm sorry.
If you wanted.
You just come in?
Yeah.
Well, you come in now, it's already been approved, Mr. Boren. We did it without you. Anything you'd like to add, sir?
Oh, not specifically.
Okay.
I just want to thank you all for the support. I think the numbers and the record showed, that we've got a foundation that I think is going to be sustainable for the long term, and I think that we've got good numbers that are interested in the high school already, that are begging for it. And I got a message today asking, how they can help, and I said, just stay tuned, because
Yep.
I think big news is coming. So I'm excited. A lot of people in the community are excited. A lot of students in the high school are excited.
I can't wait.
So thank you all for what you guys have done.
Well, we appreciate you, and you weren't here to hear it, but we did brag on you. Because I don't think we would have had this momentum had we not had the year, and you got that from the very beginning, and had a lot of good parents on board with you, didn't you?
100%.
And good support, and it's been a good year, and I think it has got a lot of good momentum to set the stage going up to the varsity level. So it's been good. It's been good. So we appreciate you and what you've done to get that going.
Thank you all.
Anybody else? Mr. Jordan?
Listening to the upcoming future, whatever salaries, and kind of the range of it, does anybody know what the median income of the teachers are versus the median income of the residents in the county?
It would be higher. Yeah, I would say that the certified salary schedule would be higher than just the overall. I could look that up. Yeah, just if we took all the working folks and their median income, I think that's what you're saying, Mr. Onion, and then compare that to the certified salary schedule, I would think that would, Ms. Carnes?
I think, and I don't know what the number is, but on the school report card information, may have some information about the average or median teacher salary
Right.
in our district as compared to maybe the state.
Yeah.
And that doesn't compare it to salaries of the whole
Right,
county.
right.
But there's probably some of that information on other sources
Yeah.
online.
Kentucky Stats would probably pull that
Yeah,
up
something
too.
like that. But I don't know, I've never.
I would think it would be somewhat higher, Mr. Onion, but I don't have that information in front of me.
But who didn't want to? You done?
Anything else?
And I just thought of this. I'm not sure if any of you are aware or tracking, but our momentum, so some of my assistant coaches last year were from Adair County, Lindsey Wilson alumni and coaches, and they just approved a varsity team in Adair County on Friday. So our momentum, like you said.
Thursday.
Yeah. Is not only affecting our kids in our community, but we've already had an impact on a whole other county who's giving more opportunities for their middle school and varsity immediately next year. So
Mr. Boring's even had folks from away from here said, I know you're doing this, I'll paraphrase it, I know you're doing this youth league, is there going to be high school level, haven't you? And said, we're looking to relocate.
yes, I have.
Yeah.
People from very far away have
Yeah.
been interested, have been asking me if there's going to be a varsity wrestling program because of considering moving their family here and using the existence of a wrestling program as a metric. And I've told them, don't make any decisions based on, prospective information, but I will be sharing this information with them for sure.
I always tell the principals, numbers are a good thing.
Numbers
You
are
know,
a good thing.
high increased numbers are a good thing, so.
For the school and beyond.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. That's been probably a month ago or so, you shared that with me, that one message.
Yeah, it was right at the end of our season.
Yep.
Anything else?
Brumley County's up 2-0, man.
Okay, good luck to our boys and girls, their baseball and softball district action.
Just Bob the second, though.
You have anything on the girls?
They don't play till 7:30.
Was it 7:30? Okay, that's right, that's right. You made the motion, Ms. Springer?
I did.
Second.
All in favor?
Sit there on your phone, dude.
Packing them up, I think that means it's right.
What's Kelly